It's 2020 and every single person that you know is shooting film. Why though? There are a lot of reasons why people are shooting film at the moment and have been for decades and decades. So in this video I hope to just explain why I shoot film and just some of the reasons that I think you should shoot film as well. People say it all the time, but it's true. Shooting film really slows your photographic process down. Shooting each frame at a slower pace means more time spent composing, looking at your light and analyzing your frame before you take the photo. And this helps you learn much faster than you would with a digital camera. Unfortunately, to make a photo that stands out, you have to know when and how to control shutter speed, ISO, aperture, exposure, framing, and light. And shooting on a manual film camera forces you to interact with those options more and more as you take more photos. You can't just rely on like an auto mode like in a digital camera. This, coupled with the extra time that you'll spend looking at your film photos because you paid for each one, will teach you how certain settings and certain light and certain framings feel much faster. And then once you know how these things feel, you can start to use them for photographic effect, and then your photos will start to stand out and you'll start to be able to get the photo that you saw in your mind more consistently. This knowledge that you gain will teach you how to see photographically, and from there you can then transfer those skills over to your phone or your digital camera, and all of your photography will get better. One thing that I think is often overlooked in film photography is that when you send your negatives off to a lab, they develop and scan them and then edit those photos in a way that they think they look good. So if you've never experienced editing a photo, getting somebody else who is a master and does this all the time can actually improve the way that your photos look straight off the bat. But the lab scans are usually also a really good starting point for anybody else. So if you wanted to make them look more your own, all you have to do then is fix these files, change the colors slightly, change the white balance a bit, up the contrast maybe a little bit, to make them more your own, which is actually what you're also doing in a digital file as well. There's just less to do here because somebody else has already gone through that process of editing it to a natural looking point. There is of course the issue of cost in film photography. Once you've bought the camera, which is usually a bit cheaper than a digital camera, every single photo will cost you money, from the developing, the scanning, and the rolls of film. This may seem like a negative, but actually it's a positive. Because each photo is another dollar, and you don't get the results till about a week or two after you take the shot, you intrinsically place more value on the photos you take on a film camera. And this begins before you take the photo while you're thinking about what kind of photo to make, and will change what kind of photos you do make, and continues right through to the end when you've got your photos. You'll look at your photos for longer, you'll interact with them more, and you'll feel much more emotion about them because they cost money, and you spend time thinking about your photo while you're waiting for the scans. Your mistakes then are also more heavily imprinted into your mind. Every mistake that you make costs you money, and it's a conscious choice that you made. So you don't want to be stuffing up any photos. This may seem like, oh, that's impossible at the beginning, but you do get the hang of it, and you do learn how to make every single photo that you take perfect. I've also noticed that I spend a lot more time when I'm taking these photos looking down the lens and thinking about whether or not I actually want the photo that I'm about to take. Often I look at a frame and I go, this is awesome, this looks really cool, but why do I want this? And that not only makes me have photos that I want more often, but it also makes me think about why I'm taking these photos, which can send you down a crazy rabbit hole that I won't explain right now. Actually, I will talk about it right now. Shooting film is your gateway drug into the world of traditional artistic photography, which for me is one of my favorite forms of photography and pretty much the only thing that I like to do. From the people on YouTube that shoot film to the decades and decades of books written and made by film photographers, using a film camera you will feel more connected to, and you'll be able to relate more to what they're doing and what they're saying. Throughout history there has been a lot more film photography done than there has been digital photography. So getting your head around that kind of photography and sinking your teeth into those photographers from the past will also really improve your photography and make you think about the art much more and much more deeply. Film photography is something that I think every photographer should definitely give a go. It's going to make you fall in love more with photography while making you a better photographer at the same time. Everything about it is really dope. And here's some photos to prove that it works. Okay, thanks for enjoying another video with Cody Wood. I will see you next time. Hopefully it's a different video. Otherwise, I'll just upload the same video twice in a row. Check out my Instagram, check out my website, subscribe. Definitely subscribe. I'll see you next time.